found somebody who called himself a prophet, run away. Because God has no more prophets. There are no more apostles. The last apostle was John, and he died on the Isle of Patmos. I have a preacher who calls himself a cardinal. It's not going to be long before we're going to have a pope in the Black Baptist Church. Because bishop is not good enough. Cardinal is not going to be good enough after a while. After a while, we're going to have a pope. What's wrong with being pastor? What's wrong with just being a preacher? Everybody wants to have some special knowledge. God is not giving anybody any esoteric knowledge. The only knowledge you and I have now comes from reading the scripture.
All right, giving all praise to Yahweh Hashem.
Shalom. Koholo Yahweh Hashem. Shalom Hashem Karkadash. The bonds to the apostles, the bonds to the elders. A great millstone rule well and toss his truth. Much respect to you brothers out there that's preaching his word and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Tabernacle David, hopeful elect, and the speckled bird, the one says shalom. So I'm just pretty much doing a quick response video to the brother's video. Subscribe to his channel. He made a very, very edifying video. The water brother for making that video. It was pretty much quick to the point. You know, once again, very beautiful video. And it goes to show you that these pastors out here, these false prophets, they're in their lots. Whether they realize it or not, they're in their lots. Just like there was prophets back then. And now, the prophets are back here and now. Everybody's in their lot. The false prophets are back in their lots, deceiving many. And which are called to deceive the ones that the Lord doesn't want to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So the water Yahweh Shemi Shah, the water Yahweh Shemi Shah for this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because you can be like these people up in the crowd, listening and nodding their heads and agreeing to these false prophets, you know, pretty much freestyling the Bible and not understanding what the Bible really stands for and really says. Let's go ahead and get some scriptures. And while I was listening to the brother's video, I'm like, man, we came up with some of the same scriptures, and that's pretty much being on point. You know, when you're in this walk, when you're in this truth, truly in this walk and truly in this truth, you're speaking and saying the same things, and everybody's on point through the Spirit. Isaiah 8:20, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, is because there is no light in them. There's no light in him. Bald head, bald face, for the most part, bald face. That's the MO of these pastors, and freestyling. Just up there freestyling. Breaking down the scriptures wrong, or if they even bring out any scriptures at all. And you have the congregation just nodding their heads and agreeing to whatever they say. So there's no light in them, and there's no light in that congregation. And the water Yahweh Shemi Shah for calling us up out of these false idols, these false man, whatever you want to say, Koholo Yahweh Shemi Shah, the water, for calling us up out of these churches, man, these whorehouses. Is Ecclesiastes 1 and verse 9. The thing that have been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that is which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. You see, there's no new thing under the sun. So the Lord had his prophets out there on the highways and byways, and now the Lord has his prophets out here now. You see, the reason why he's saying that is because he wants his house, his whorehouse filled. And he knows that the Hebrew Israelites, mainly of GMS, and the brothers that follow the same likewise doctrine, and even these false camps are breaking down the Bible way better than he could ever, because he learned from the cemetery school. And once again, he's in his lot. He's a false prophet back in his lot. And so, yes, there's nothing new under the sun. The prophets are back here today, and they were back And they were back in their lot back in the day as well. Nothing new on the same. Let's see, this is verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. You see that? So it might even be like, you know, a invention or, you know, mindset, whatever. It's not new. It's of old. You know, us out here on the highways and byways preaching this word. It's not something new. It's old. The Lord called us from the beginning. Lord willing, it's going to be manifested that we are those men that we were out there on the highways and byways back in the day. This is Revelation 12 and verse 17. That the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of power and have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach. You see, we have the true testimony, and they do not have the testimony of Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, that's why they're not bringing out the MOTB, actually breaking down the scriptures, telling you what's going to happen. They're not telling you about Jacob's trouble. They're just telling you that you're going to get beamed up if you believe in sweet baby Jesus, and that's it. No, it's more than that. You got to endure to the end. You got to make your call and election sure. You got to give the people these prophecies, and they don't have the testimony, as we'll read, as the brother had got in his lesson as well, Revelation 19 and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see, thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant. It's the angel speaking. Why? Because he has a testimony. He knows. Angels are in their lights. Like, don't worship me. Worship Yahweh by Shema Shah. I'm just an angel. Don't worship me. And thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua worship power, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. You see that? The spirit of prophecy. And that's why these false prophets, these so-called Christians, they have no understanding of this Bible. They're not giving you the testimony of Yahweh Shema Shah. They're not giving you the true breakdown of this word. They ain't got it. This is Apostle John. And as we read in Revelation 10 and verse 9, and I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me that little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up. And it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet. See, that wisdom, knowledge, understanding. It's sweet, but as you gain more and more knowledge, you know, you truly see the world how it truly is. And that we got to get the heck up out of here. That they're polluting the world, polluting the plants, the water, the food supply. You know, you're more conscious of what you're doing. You understand that, you know, all of us deserve death. So you try and do your best to make your call and election sure, and you angry. Now just balancing this. Not to say that you can't have fun, but you see how Jake is out here wilding out. He's like, man, we got to get the heck up out of here. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. All right. And these pastors, once again, they know this truth is real. And that's why they're demonizing this truth. Because we can break down the Bible way 1,000 times better than they could ever. And so that's why they warning the people, don't listen to those dudes. Anybody calls himself a prophet, hey, we say Lord willing, we those men. All right? We say Lord willing, but they understand. They ain't got it. That's pretty much what it boils down to. They ain't got it. You know, they want their pockets filled. They're in the house of mirth while we're in the house of mourning, and the Lord is going to switch the roles, and eventually we're going to be in the house of mirth. Let's see, Revelation 10 and verse 11. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again. All right, here it is. We're getting into the prophets. All right. Thou must prophesy again before many people and nations and tongues and kings. Now you do your research on the island of Patmos. We believe that he passed away on the island of Patmos. And so this is saying that John the Baptist, all the prophets for the most part, are going to come back in their lots. And they're going to be out here preaching on the highways and byways in these last days. That's what the Lord called us to do. All right. And those that have passed away in the spirit, those, hey, they did their part. And they're going to be some of the first ones to be risen up and put their paws and put their hands on Esau Edom, man. And feel the wrath of Yahweh Bashim Shah. All right. Those fishers are going to become hunters. As you read in Jeremiah 16 and verse 16, he called us to be fishers. To fish the elect. And you false prophets, you fishers of the 2/3. Luke 1 and verse 68, blessed be Yahweh power of Israel, for he has visited and redeemed his people and raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. This is talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, he had to die for us. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. You say that? You see that? All right. The prophets have always been here. Always. Since the beginning. Prophesying. We always been in our lots. And once again, you false prophets have always been in your lots. For the sake of time, you can go ahead and read the rest of that beautiful chapter. Luke 1 and verse 68 on down. This is 1 Corinthians 4 and verse 9. For I think that power has sent forth us, the apostle last, as it were appointed to death. For we were made a spectacle unto the world, and to the angels, and to men. We as fools for Mashiach's sake, but ye are wise in the Mashiach. We are weak, but we are strong. We are honorable, but we are despised. You see? And that's why these false prophets, they ain't got it, man. Because they don't want to be fools for Mashiach's sake. And at the end of the day, they're not called for this. You know, we're out there on the highways and byways with our garments and the people looking at us crazy. But, you know, this is what we're called to do. This is what we're called to do. We may look crazy in your eyes, but as we just read in 1 Corinthians 4 and verse 9, we're made a spectacle. You know, a lot of people looking all, people scratching their heads. Well, it's supposed to be like that. We're supposed to look like fools for Mashiach's sake, but we're actually the wise. And as you read in, what's that, Wisdom of Solomon 5, they're going to learn the hard way that we had the testimony of Yahweh Shah. And they did not. We're going to get that spiritual power. We're going to get those new bodies. And they're not going to get them first. This is Daniel 12 and verse 12. Blessed is he that waiteth and cometh in the 1,305 days. But go thy way to the end be, for thou shalt rest. All right, rest. When you rest, it's talking about passing away. And this is the prophet Daniel. He had to pass away. And as we read, and stand in thy lot at the end of days. What is his lot? Daniel was a prophet. So Daniel came back preaching his word. All the prophets did. So once again, you listen to anybody that's saying that the prophets are not back here today. They're a false prophet, and get far away from them, man. All right. Everybody is in their lots. You come back through the seed of your father on the third or fourth generation. Reincarnation, regeneration is in the scriptures, and we just read one of many. We also read one in Revelation 10 and verse 11. Everybody's in their lot. Slacky. Everybody's in their lot. This is Job 3 and verse 11. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? You know, this is Job speaking. You know, when you're in this walk, really you rather be up there with the Lord or you know, have rest, because we're trying to get away from this man Esau Edom. Because when you have this wisdom, you're like, man, this man is a damn devil, trying to get everybody to get the MOTB. He got crack, you know, put all types of stuff in the food. Like, man, we rather be with the Lord. There the wicked cease from the troubling, and there the weary be at rest. You see, the weary's gonna be at rest. You know, when you pass away, or you up there in the spirit realm, you have rest. There the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. You see that? The small and great are there, and the servant is free from his master. All right. You see, when you pass away, you're free from the oppression. And that's how Job was feeling, man. Like, man, get me away from these people. But Job had to come back in his lot and do this work. All right, and do this work. As we read in Amos 3 and verse 7, surely Yahweh's power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. And that's why these so-called Christians cannot break down this Bible. They have no understanding. You know, only the prophets have the true breakdown of this Bible, the true understanding of this word. I'm gonna get this real quick, because I'm gonna have to run in there to the Shaddai. This is Isaiah 30 and verse 9, that this are rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of the Lord. You see, that's why, you know, everybody's in their lots. You seen everybody in that congregation, filled up that congregation, you know, listening to that false pastor. Would say to the seer, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. And our people love deceits, and that's why the churches are filled. But the Lord has it that way because he only has the elect. He wants only the elect to get this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Get you out of the way, turn aside your path, cause the holy ones of Israel to cease before us. Wherefore thus said the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon, therefore the iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in the high wall, whose breaking coming suddenly and at an instant. So, you know, a lot of these people that dance to the tune of these false prophets, that don't want to listen to the true man of the Lord, they about to see the wrath and get the wrath of the Lord. Like I said, I gotta go in. So with that, shalom.